Am I the butthole for skipping an intervention of sorts that my siblings held? I'm the youngest of 6, and, for whatever reason, the way that things seem to get handled is your siblings all gather and they basically tell you you're messing up and you need to stop. Rarely does this work, but it's the way it goes down. My oldest sibling has a daughter who's 14 and weighs 220 plus pounds. Now, you won't hardly ever hear about how sweet or bright of a kid she is. No, my siblings just focus on how heavy she is and how much spoiling my brother does. My siblings decided to call one of their intervention gatherings. I said I wasn't going to participate. When pressed on why, I said it seemed goofy and that we aren't exactly breaking the news to him. I skipped it, they went over to his place and gave him their lecture. I got a barrage of texts and calls that said I was co-signing an unhealthy lifestyle and that I don't want what's best for her. Boyfriend wants to flirt and talk to other girls for attention. My 25F, BF, 23 meters, has been texting girls he's met on boys' nights at the bar. When I confronted him about it, he says it's just for a confidence boost and outside attention. I truly trust that he would never do anything physical. I really don't know how to feel. Part of me understands that the expectation of me being the only woman he finds attractive is unrealistic, but then there's the part of me that breaks a little each time this happens. He's been caught 3 or 4 times now. We tried an open relationship late last year, but it was shut down because of me getting more attention and offers than him, and he became insecure. I've asked him to just let me know when he's doing this so I don't have to find out whenever I use his phone for something. This is his first serious relationship and my first non-abusive one. So it's truly the blind leading the blind. Is this type of issue normal in long-term relationships? If you've been through similar, how did you make it work? Am I the butthole for hosting adults-only meetups for a group, not making one that's kid-friendly, and not changing the meetup when they brought their kids? I'm in a local FB group that has 1,000 plus members. People will set up meetups or fun activities for people to meet new people and do hobby things together. Stuff like wine bars, hikes, volleyball at the park, etc. For the past year I've done some regularly scheduled meetups arranged around doing crafts or stuff involving houseplants. Painting and smoking some weed in the park, plant swaps, making moss poles or painting planters, terrariums, etc. I work my butt off all week and I know this is harsh, but I want to relax and have adult conversations without having to censor myself, talk about dating or hookups, smoke some leaf, or do shrooms before, etc. I've made it clear that mine are adults-only meetups. It's been awesome, and it's something I look forward to. After a year of doing these, a few women in the group kept saying we'd love to join you, but we have young kids, any way we can make a few of these more kid-friendly? I have always told them flat out no, these are events for adults, but they are welcome to create their own meetups, and that I was sure they'd be popular since lots of people have kids. But this was met with a lot of anger and annoyance from the moms, saying that I'm gatekeeping and being exclusive. Then 5 of them showed up to one of the park pottery painting events with their kids with them. I welcomed them like I would anyone else, but when my regulars showed up we started getting a little rowdy talking about someone's latest hookup story. One of the moms was getting really annoyed and kept asking us if we could tone down the swearing and lewd talk, and the other moms were agreeing. I pulled them aside and let them know that there was a reason I mentioned the meetups were meant for adults only and that we're all adults here who just want to relax and let off some steam. They got really angry and tried arguing, saying that oh well the kids are here anyway. I just said well, we won't be doing that. The days following there was a huge dust-up in the big group about these meetups being exclusive to certain people and how they feel like they're being unfairly targeted and excluded just because they're moms. There are opinions flying all over the place, so I've come to Reddit to ask, am I the butthole for creating these adults-only meetups and then for not switching up the tone of the meetup after moms showed up with their kids? Just as a few points BC I feel like I'll be asked, anyone can set up a meetup for anything. Every week there are like 5+ meetups. The park we're at is huge, and we don't set up anywhere near the playgrounds. No, I don't hate kids. Am I the butthole for siding with my brother and offending my fiancé? My fiancé doesn't want my brother attending the wedding because he would bring his BF, and our families are incredibly conservative, and our day would be overshadowed for sure. She called me off for siding with my brother and telling her that if all other siblings get to bring a date, so does my brother. She said my brother and his so will turn the wedding into a freak show, so I told her that if he can't come with his so, we can just go to City Hall, sign the papers, and have no ceremony at all. She broke down crying and called me an telling me she just wants the wedding to be all about us. AITA for yelling at my brother-in-law at his future child's gender reveal. Last week my sister was having a gender reveal party. When the sex was revealed to be female, her husband got all disappointed and basically sat in the corner angrily mumbling to himself. Obviously this made everyone really uncomfortable and my sister really distraught. I decided to talk to him because frankly he was acting ridiculous and I thought I could make him see that so he could just move past it. I asked him why he was so upset and he was like, really? Obviously I don't want a daughter, I wanted a son. I asked why the genitals matter so much, which that is literally how to see the sex of a fetus. He called me a creep. I responded with, come on man, are you really gonna just throw a tantrum? Do you even care how your wife feels about this? He yelled, how dare you try and tell me what to do in my own home, you stupid female dog. At this point I lost my temper a little and I said, if you plan on raising a child in a few months you better stop acting like one yourself. Just do everyone a favor and grow TF up. He started getting increasingly hostile and I realized I was not accomplishing my goal, so I removed myself from the situation. Later my sister got mad at me and said I should have just left him be and now it's my fault that he is refusing to raise a girl. Am I the butthole? My husband, M33, and I, F30, constantly argue because of my memory. My husband, M33, and I, F30, constantly argue because of my memory. I have epilepsy and frontal lobe brain damage. Because of this, I have memory problems. We have been married for almost 2 years, together for almost 5. I have had epilepsy since I was 12 and my short-term memory problems aren't new to him. However, recently he's started saying I'm lying to him and I intentionally want to make his life hard. He's saying my forgetfulness is a really good convenience to get out of things. He says something to make me cry almost every day. I feel like a failure of a human being. I just want to shut out the world. At work, I use sticky notes and carry a notepad to meetings. My colleagues have never treated me like I'm inferior. But my husband treats my memory problems like his burden. I've just bought a house and a part of me just wants to move there with myself and my daughter, F10, because she loves me despite my memory problems and she at least makes an effort to understand. She's autistic and already struggles with emotions, so if she gets it, why doesn't he? I don't know what I should do. I can just see this going on for years because I can't miraculously get a new brain. I asked for surgery, but my neurologist said there's nothing they can do. I just want to fall into a hole and never climb out. Any advice? Am I the butthole for telling my neighbor to mind her business about my sons? I, 23F, am a single mother of twin boys, 3M. We recently moved in with my mother after leaving our crappy apartment in Nick. My mother lives in a neighborhood that's mostly elderly and families with older children. Yesterday it was hot out and my boys were throwing water balloons at each other and me. Well, my neighbor, 47F, came over and asked to keep the noise down and take my kids inside as it was early. It was 2 p.m. in the afternoon. I paid no mind and went inside to grab some water for my sons. I hear yelling and rush back out to see my neighbor with my son's toys and yelling at them. I lost it and told her to mind her own business. When she says this, of course people like you have to ruin the neighborhood. I'm black and my sons are mixed, their father is white. I told her to get off my mother's property before I call the cops. Am I the butthole for telling my client's mother she can't be at the delivery? So I'm currently a surrogate for a lovely gay couple. I'm 35 weeks pregnant, so just about ready to pop. Our plan throughout the pregnancy has been for delivery. The fathers are in there and so is my husband for my own personal support. Only 3 guests are allowed at my birth center. Yesterday my client's mother called me and asked for the directions to the birth center and I asked why she needed it. She told me she needed it if she was going to be there for the birth of her grandchild. I told her there must have been some miscommunication and that dads and husband will be there for the birth. She said the dads encouraged her to reach out to see if I would mind having husband stay home so grandma can't see the birth of her grandchild. She protested some, but I told her that even though this is not my baby to keep, I'm still going through a medical procedure and would like my support person with me. She hung up and the dads called me and told me I was unreasonable and rude towards his mother for no reason and that they should be able who decides who is in the delivery room since it's their baby. Don't do it, we love you survivors, how's it going? Could be worse, quit the substance at least. Mostly better. Still crosses my mind often. Worse than ever. wishing that it would have worked and contemplating trying again and making sure that it works.